I'm going to teach you how to become so productive that it feels like cheating, like almost illegal. Coming from someone who used to take stimulants like they were Skittles and drink for almost every day for 15 years. Like serious problem. I used to do everything I could to superpower my productivity. More checklists, more apps, more planners, better this, better that. I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid, and I spent years overcompensating, overfunctioning with zero ability to complete any task without starting another one. And I improved my ability to focus, and I'm now running multiple seven-figure companies simultaneously without using any drugs. And I'm going to give you the exact method that I use in my daily life to make it all happen and be so productive, and what helped me get out of the trenches of the lowest point in my life. And so for those of you who don't want to watch or listen to the end, you can click the link in the show notes and work directly with me one-on-one if you are ready to get your life so productive and so in sync today. You can click there and work directly with me. So let's get into it. Here is the method I use. The first step is your nightly routine. The night before is what truly sets up the next day. So everything that you need to have prepped and ready to be successful the next day starts the night before. So that starts with putting your phone on silent around 8:30, 9 o'clock. That starts with looking over your calendar for the day and reflecting on what went well and what didn't. So many people miss this. They just run day after day after day, drifting through life and never taking that moment to stop, check in, and actually think about what happened during the day, and not just always being evaluative of yourself of like you did good or bad, but just noticing your patterns, noticing what feels good, and noticing what feels aligned with who you want to become takes so much off of you in the future, off your future self, by taking that minute now. And I'm not talking about like having to write a 30-page journal entry. It can literally just be thinking through it. Some people want to journal it out. Some people want to voice note it, but taking time to think about, how did today go? How did I feel about that? And what did that feel like in my body? And is that who I want to become? All right. Put your vitamins out, put your supplements out for the next morning, put your hydration packet out, whatever it is that helps you get ready for the day, do that the night before. Put the kids' backpacks out. If you're a parent, get those lunches packed. Everything that you're going to need. If you head to the gym first thing in the morning, get your gym clothes laid out, get your gym shoes laid out. Go ahead and put the coffee in the coffee pot and put that cup under there. Anything you can do the night before usually takes minutes, but what it is doing is keeping you from having to make all of those decisions first thing in the morning. Decision fatigue is real. And so if that stuff becomes automated in your life because you already took care of it the day before, you're not having to decide which supplements to get out. You're not having to decide what's going to be for lunch. You're not having to decide what to wear. Everything is already done. So those very first moments in the morning, you can use to really supercharge your day. And this is what this looks like. So when you first wake up before everyone else. Wake up before they do. You need that brain space. For me, it's 5 a.m. You need that time. So get up, do your business, say a prayer. Even if you're not like a super spiritual person, like you believe in some sort of higher power, acknowledging that exists in our life is huge. And then read something. Not on social media, because we all get sucked right in, not on email, getting sucked right in, but read something, whether it's a page of scripture, a page in a book. I love the Daily Stoic. It's like 365 days and it's dated. And it talks about an ancient, Stoic, and then gives a little blurb of like how we can still our minds and still our life so that we aren't emotionally or as emotionally reactive or attached to everything that's happening to us. So really taking those few moments, okay, and then delaying drinking your coffee. So the Huberman Lab, it's a wonderful podcast and a YouTube channel if you haven't watched it, but he talks about the science of the brain a lot. And there's so much research behind this first 60 to 90 minutes that you're awake. Okay. So my friend Jacob was telling me about this the other day. We were talking this through. Your melatonin from the night before dumps. Okay, those first 60 to 90 minutes. It's going to dump out of your body at some point. But if you immediately put caffeine in, that dump waits until the caffeine runs out and then it dumps, which is usually like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So then you have like the afternoon, like, oh, tired. So if you like caffeine, that's fine, but don't have it right away. So I'm a warm lemon water person in the morning and then a hydration packet in my like big bottle of water, because water alone will not hydrate you, right? So you don't have the magnesium, you don't have all the vitamins that you need. So making sure that you have a good hydration packet, not like Liquid IV that has like tons of sugar in it. So be sure and look at the sugar content, but getting those hydration packets, what that is doing, so all of these things I just told you is wiring your brain to get you ready for the day. And so you're like, wait, but Brooke, you were supposed to tell me how to be productive. I am. You don't need another app. You don't need another checklist. You don't need another planner, okay, that you're not looking at, right? And then you forget to use and then you feel guilty over. You are supercharging the most powerful tool you have, and that is your brain and your body. So once you get rehydrated, then decide, are you going to do work first or are you going to move your body, right? For some people, they are like, oh, this is my like best time to work. I'm going to knock it out right after I've got myself up. For me, I got to go move my body. So I'm a morning workout person, right? So I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lift heavy weights and then I'm going to walk. That's like the best routine for me. I'm not running. I'm not doing HIIT classes. I'm not doing hot whatever workout. Like for me, heavy weights, walk. That's it. Usually takes me like an hour and 15 minutes to get both of them done. And then I'm back home with my family. They're just now getting up, because getting up early allows you to get these things done before you're getting pulled in every single direction from everyone else, right? Whether it's your employees or your family or your coworkers, and somebody's always needing something from you, right? So making sure, are you going to work? Or are you going to move your body? For some people, that's their prime work time. My prime work time starts at 10 a.m. I've tested this over and over and over. So like, know your chronotype, look that up if you haven't dived into that, or get on AI with it and figure out your chronotype. And so I'm a late morning type, and that allows me to know that my brain is really ramping up around 10 a.m. every single day for me. And so that's when I start working, and then I go hard, right? I take an afternoon break. Then I usually get a couple more hours in the afternoon after my son's activities and stuff. So figuring out what that rhythm looks like for you, but you have got to move your body. And that doesn't mean that you have to do what I'm doing. That it's different for different people. Men and women are different. Everyone feels different. Some people are more like yoga and Pilates, but move your body. It helps flush out all the toxins from the day before. You're watching this video because you want to learn how to be productive. This will do it for you. It's not about being skinny. It's not about being in a certain size of pants. It's about moving your body and doing what feels good for you. And then during the day, this is really key though, is your nutrition. You are not eating for enjoyment during the day. Okay. Now I love a good brownie. Do not get me wrong. Woo! I love a good brownie. And I do love some good vegan ice cream too. I have a dairy intolerance, but I love some ice cream. But I'm not eating that in the middle of my workday. Okay. I'm not eating sandwiches with a lot of bread and carbs. I'm eating like lean proteins, sweet potatoes, things like that, that it's fueling my brain and body. Why? Why am I doing that? Because I want to show up as my best self. You want to show up as the best version of you for your employees, your contractors, your coworkers, your family, for your friends. Like that is how you fuel your body and your brain. Because if you do all these good things and then clog it up with a, lunch eating Mexican and cheese dip and drinking Ritas, which I love that too, right? Save that for Friday night. Save that sweet treat if you need that sugar rush in the evening when you're not in your productivity mode, right? You're not in that zone where you're trying to get things done, because your brain and your body is all you need to be productive. But sometimes we have to clean all that junk out of it first. It was hard getting off Vyvanse. It was really hard getting off Adderall, but being able to detox out of those and figuring out what feels good and helps my body to be like the cleanest, most pure version of itself is what has truly supercharged productivity and allowed me to continue to grow and add more companies and more staff and more responsibilities without leaving me burned out and frazzled and not actually completing the things that I want to get done. And so what if you are a night person? Like some of you may be watching this and you're like, this sounds all good, but like I'm a night person. You can change that. Okay. You can change that. And here's how: you get real tired. If you stay up till 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and you force yourself to wake up early in the morning, You force yourself to be up at 5 a.m., you're going to be dead tired by the end of the week. You're going to sleep 12 hours. And guess what? Pop, you're going to be up at 6 a.m. So if you can get in a routine of doing that, you will reset your body and you won't be a night owl anymore. It doesn't have to stay like that forever. Okay. There are simple resets. And I'm not a sleep therapist and I'm not a sleep scientist, but there's lots of research out there online that can help you work with what's called sleep hygiene. Okay. It's a whole thing that I had to work on myself, right? Especially on those nights when I was drinking all the time. And then I would wake up in the middle of the night and couldn't figure out why I couldn't go back to sleep and all that. Well, that was my liver kicking on at 3 a.m. because I had those bad habits. So let's talk about bad habits. You got to remove those vices from your life. And this is what I mean. Okay. You do all of these things to be productive, to build a successful life, to build a successful business. You can't be smoking weed, doing drugs, getting drunk, going out to the clubs, doing all that on the weekends, and then think that you could just clean it up for the week because your body remembers. Your body keeps score. And you cannot get back into that supercharged headspace and really shoot into productivity mode if you are continuing to put those toxins and bad things in. So you got to pick. I'm not saying don't ever go have fun. I'm not saying don't ever go on vacation and have a few cocktails, but on the reg, you have got to get it together and choose. Which bucket do you want to be in? Because you don't get to be in both, right? You don't get to choose the lazy lifestyle and supercharged productivity mode and be able to show up well in both arenas. Okay. It doesn't happen. And then let's talk about who you're hanging out with. Because if you are wanting to move ahead in life, you got to be somebody that people like that want to hang out with because you are who you surround yourself with. Yes, Dad, I just said that. You are who you hang out with. You are who you hang out with. Like every version of that, my dad said to me as a teenager, and he was right. He was right. The times in my life when I'm moving ahead, you look around who I'm hanging out with. Yep. The times in my life when I'm getting drugged back down and nothing is moving and everything feels like sludge, I've got the wrong people in my circle. So look really closely and evaluate who are you hanging out with, right? And so then it's like, oh my gosh, how do I remember all of these things? Put it in your calendar. So when you're reviewing your calendar at night, you should have every single thing in there that isn't automated in your brain. Okay. And once you do these things over and over, they're going to be automated, but you can literally put 15-minute windows, lay out supplements, lay out clothes, lay out gym stuff, and then put it on repeat. You need to be using some sort of calendar. I use a Gmail calendar. You can use Apple Calendar, Android, whatever works for you, but you've got to be using a calendar where everything goes on it. So you're not looking in 15 different places. Every time a date comes up for your kid, a meeting, lunch you get scheduled, something with your business partners, it all goes into a calendar every single time. Okay. So then you get to free up your brain space to continue to be productive and to continue to think and research and plan. But if you constantly are trying to figure out where you're supposed to be and what are all your responsibilities, you will not be able to get to that high level of thinking while you're always running around like a hamster wheel in your brain. Okay. And then use a timer when you're doing those high level tasks. So you've got your calendar, you've got your things on there that you need to get done. And then if you're spending time doing deep research, like I'm researching, topics for the next, 3 months of YouTube content that I want to put out for my followers and my coaching program, and then set a timer. And once 2 or 3 hours is up, you get up or whatever the time frame has worked for you and move your body. Take a walk, do some squats, do some push-ups, do a little yoga, a little stretching, just a few minutes. Nobody's asking you to take 3 hours out of your day and become this crazy workout person. But there is tried and true methods of hydrating, being active, and setting that phone aside from distractions, right? And so when you're in those deep work modes and deep work zones, mute, M-U-T-E, mute, silence those notifications so that you can't hear them anymore. You are not that important. I am not that important that I need to be looking at my phone every 30 seconds. We don't, but it becomes a habit that we continue to pick up and look at and look at and look at. But those notifications are tiny little distractions that are getting you out of the zone all day long. So imagine this with me. Imagine you have the house that you want to provide for yourself, for your family. Imagine you have the bank account, the income, the generating machines from your companies. Everything is well oiled and you feel lazy and you feel tired. And I'm not saying rest is not important. It is. Sleep and rest are important. But on a random day, do I sit and watch Netflix because I just, really not doing the thing today? Or do you get up and do what a person that has that kind of house and has that kind of business and has that kind of life does? Because getting to a place where you feel successful, where you feel proud in life is not an accident. And it's not doing something really well one day. Okay. It is compounded interest of showing up, of effort and work ethic over time. And that is how we get there. And it can feel uncomfortable and not easy, but that's okay, because discomfort is what breeds growth. And you start feeling like you need to change something or do something different. That is your internal intuition telling you that you are heading into a season of growth. So lean into that. Lean into where you are headed, because you are giving the best gift ever to your future self. And so if you like this video, if it was helpful for you, drop in the comments and tell me, what are you going to try implementing to help you to be more productive, or maybe something that you've already tried?